Hey everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful, exciting episode of Ninja Bunny Crafting. Today's episode is going to consist of one of my favorite little accessories for dungeon tiles, and actually anything really, and that is stackers. These things are freaking awesome, right? You can just take these guys and whoop, wall, boop, pyramid. Take a couple of them real quick, and you can just set them like right next to each other, like this, and for a thing, boom, doorway. Set them up like that, boom, walls. Just, you need steps, right? You need some steps. You can just take some and stack them, and boom, steps. It's awesome. They really are amazing. So, instead of me just ranting on about these awesome things, I am going to show you guys how to craft them up. And you are going to freaking love it. It is a quick, easy little experiment. Understand that in this episode, I'm going to be using my hot wire table. But as I always state, you don't need these tools. You can use whatever you have on hand, from a razor blade knife to just a plain kitchen knife. So let's get to it. As usual, our project's going to start with some pink styrofoam insulation board. Let's grab some and get cutting. For this cut, I'm going to be using my Proxxon wire cutting table, but you don't have to. You can always use something else. You can use a kitchen knife if you want to. You can use a razor knife. You can use a handheld wire cutter. If you want to, you can use a lumberjack saw. But you're going to want to cut them into the following measurements. You want them to be 2 inches wide. You're going to want that strip that you cut into 2 inches wide to be at least 6 inches long. Why? Well, because we're making dungeon stackers, right? So you're going to need it 2 inches wide, and then you're going to need to cut those that 6 inch long 2 inch strip into 3, 2, and 1 inch pieces. Why? Well, because that's how they stack well. So, as you can see here, I'm just going to go through and just run this thing down my hot wire cutter table. And I'm going to cut it into some 6 inch sections. Now, as I was using my table, and I love my Proxxon wire cutting table, what I don't like about it is the guard. As you can see, my hand here having to hold the guard because it doesn't secure on both sides. So I'm just holding the guard here while I make, on this part, the 2 inch pieces. And I'm just making a couple up real fast. Again, this is probably the easiest way to do this, is to just make the 3 inch, the 2 inch, and the 1 inch pieces. Just make a bunch of them right off the bat. Kind of like doing, what do they call that in the cooking world? Mise en place. You know, have everything in order and ready to go. Also, unless you have a fan blowing in the background like I do in this video, make sure you're wearing a mask. Again, those fumes, man, they can give you a headache, and nobody likes having a headache. So, right here, I'm cutting up into the 1 inch strips. Like I said, I'm going to show everybody each step how I did it and not try to skimp or cut through this as much as I can. So once you've got your 1 inch pieces, you're going to want to lay everything out and get it ready for the tinfoil ball texturing. That's right, just grab a tinfoil ball, crunch it up, and just start pressing down on your pieces. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. You can press and put the texturing on every single side of these guys, everywhere. Or, for the 1 inch and the 2 inch, you can just texture it on 3 of the main sides and the 2 sides. That sounds stupid, doesn't it? Sides. Let me know in the comment if you understood what I meant by side. So, just grab your tinfoil ball, press real hard on it. As I always said, go in any direction you feel like. If it doesn't look textured enough to you, you can press as hard as you need to. And if you don't like the tinfoil ball, go out and grab a rock. Honestly, rocks make great texturing tools as well. But I just like the tinfoil ball, and everybody's got a little bit of tinfoil in the house. So, once you've got yourself textured, here's what I'm going to suggest next. Grab up your Mod Podge and black paint mixture, and let's get it slapped down onto these guys. Again, you can do this one of 2 ways. You can coat every single side of every single piece with the black Mod Podge, or you can have your tongue tied there. What I meant to say is you can cover the sides and the top of the 1 inch and the 2 inch, leaving the bottom exposed if you want. But on the 3 inches, you gotta cover the sides, the top, and the bottom. That's because on the 3 inch one, you are gonna see the bottoms and the sides and the top, unlike the 1 inch, the 2 inch, where you're only gonna see the sides and the top of it. So get in there really good. Get a good wide brush like I got. If you got one of those sponge brushes, it'll work just as well. But I like this one because I can just kind of, if need be, give it a little wiggle and get the brushes to go into the little deep crevices that I can't hit with the sponge. Again, if it doesn't look good on your first coat, if you didn't get it nice and dark enough, don't worry. Go over it very lightly with the second coat to get up all that pink. And it's okay to get paint on your hands there, guys. If you want to wear gloves, go for it. I won't. It's my kind of thing unless it's toxic. In this case, again, I just grabbed a dark gray. Same thing you'll want to do is grab a dark gray and then, again, water it down, and we're just going to put it over the top and the sides of the 2 inch and the 1 inch, and then we're going to cover all the sides of the 3 inch. Same thing with the Mod Podge. The reason we did that is because you are going to see the top and the bottom and the sides of the 3 inch, but the bottom parts of the 2 inch and the 1 inch you're not, because they're going to be glued to each other. And that is just it. So here's some things I wanted to ask you guys. We're going up on I'm doing this. Are you enjoying this stuff? Are you finding this useful? If so, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know. If you think my voice is annoying, my voiceovers are sucking, not doing up to what you think they should, let me know in the comments down below. I have no problem taking this criticism. I'd like to hear it so I can improve these videos and tutorials. So as I said before, as you can see here, I'm going to take my gray and I'm going to go top and bottom on this 3 inch piece. I want nothing left unexposed, to gray. I want it there. I want it present. I want it to look like rock. And one of the fun parts is, as you can see on the side there, after I textured it, it created that kind of wobbly wobbliness to it, which is nice. Gives you a real solid stone look. So if you wanted to use these guys for the walls of a village or a town or a castle, they will totally work. You can use these guys for more than just dungeons. I know they're called dungeon stackers, but you can use them for so much more. In fact, I'm pretty sure on Black Magic Craft YouTube channel, they actually show you like these cool little toppers that you can put on the dungeon stackers and make them look like palisades and stuff. So cool. And again, so useful. I thought this was just a great video to bring to you guys. And it goes so fast. The longest part of this entire project for any of you is going to be paint drying and glue drying, which, to be fair, is the longest part of most crafting projects. Unless we start digging into the elaborate stuff. But that's down the road. Now with those guys all painted up and dried up, we're going to hit into my second favorite part of painting, dry brushing. Alright, we're going to start with a fog gray. If you don't got a fog gray, just go with a very light gray. Throw some white on the dark gray and get it lightened up as best you can. As usual, load up your makeup brush or whatever you're using for your dry brush. Get it loaded up and then take off 98% of that paint onto a dry paper towel. You want it to just leave a dusting of a different color on that paper towel. If you're ever worried, you can actually go to the palm of your hand and give your dry brush a few passes. And if you can see the ridges on your hand appearing, like the little ridges from your fingerprints and such, you know you've got it good. And then as always, you're just going to drop this down on these guys. You're going to go back, forth, up, down, left, right, circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever way. You're just trying to get all those little highlights you created from that tinfoil ball while you're texturing this thing, and you're just trying to make them pop out and come right to life for you. As you can see here, I start out with a nice, big, bushy makeup brush. And I start out with that fog gray, and I'm just hitting it everywhere on the 2 inches, except for the part I plan to glue to the 3-inch piece. That guy got away from me, man. He just jumped right out my hand. You see that? As you can see there, the black bottom there is still black. It hasn't been painted because, again, it's going to be glued onto the 3-inch piece. Same with this 1-inch piece. The bottom is still black. It is unpainted. It is undry brushed because it is getting glued right to that 2-inch piece. And that's okay. If you wanted texture and paint all sides of it, don't feel bad. Don't feel that you have to perfectly duplicate me here. You don't. This is merely a tutorial so you can learn how to make these and you can adapt your own style. That is my main point of these videos, is I'm trying to help you guys create your own style in crafting. I've got my style, other people have theirs, and honestly, there is no point in not showing you guys how to make your own style. So you see here again, like I said, the 3-inch one, these are the ones that get hit everywhere. We cannot not do it. So once these guys have all dried up here from the gray dry brushing, I'm going to grab Antique White and do one more coat of dry brushing. Why one more coat? Because it's going to help things pop and look beautiful. And that's really what we're after. We want it to pop. We want it to grab the eye. We want your players or you to just really love this. And you're going to. That white dry brushing is going to help this look like aged and weathered stone. And if you wanted to, instead of the next part doing a black wash, which I'm going to show you how to make a black stone wash, you could do a green stone wash if you want. Add in that color of weathered green algae and mold and mildew to it, which honestly kind of looks cool depending on the kind of thing you're going for. If you're going for like a deep jungle setting, that would really help out. But me, I'm going for that kind of in the earth, dirty, gritty, dust and wind blowing all over it kind of look. Though, to be fair, I think I might want to make some jungle terrain now. So, just get yourself dry brushed here. Get it white dry brushing done, get it looking pretty, and then we're going to move on to our next step once that's said and done and you've let it dry. Because with paint, drying is a big thing, especially when moving on to gluing. We don't want the glue to move the paint. And if you're ever wondering, man, is it looking right? Here's what I love to do. Once I've got my dry brushing done, before I move on to the gluing stage, I just want to see if my mind's eye visualized it. And that's what I do. And then from here, knowing that I'm good, I'm going to move on to gluing it. Gluing is an interesting thing. Everybody has their own ways to do it. I know some guys like to water down the PVA glue and then like spread it all over with a brush. Not me. Let's grab that Elmer's glue right out of that thing and I'm just going to pipe it right on here. You don't have to do it like I do. I just find that piping it on and piping it over as much as I can really helps and really gets everything covered. And between me and you, every so often I like to do that, like, you know, making my kids a sandwich thing when they were younger years ago. Sometimes I'll put like a smiley face when I'm doing the glue on it and just squish it down. Nobody knows that smiley face is there but me, but I still feel good knowing that smiley face is there. You know what I'm saying? You guys ever do that for your kids or for your own sandwiches? Put a smiley face on it? You know what? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm trying to get these engagements up. So, once you're done, you're just going to take the edges and just stick it to it. Now, everybody has their own methods. I use my fingers first to check and make sure things are kind of lined up nice and neat. And then I'll actually use the table surface I'm on and just kind of push the dungeon stackers together to try and get a nice, straight, even look to it. This doesn't always work, but 9 times out of 10 it works really good. If it doesn't work, putting on the table that is, your fingers just finger lining everything up will work just fine. And then like a fine sandwich, you set it down, admire it, and let it dry. Go ahead, grab another one, just like I'm about to. Let's get them all done. We don't want to waste any time. We want this glue to dry evenly and together. See here? I'm doing another weird one. I'm making an X. Don't know why. Don't ask me why I do this. I don't know. I just do. I think it's so relaxing. Again, just like painting, just like dry brushing, this little part of assembly can be very zen for somebody like me. Especially with my level of ADHD, just the hyper focus I can get into right here leaves me feeling so great. And then when the project's done, you have a feeling that I don't think most people without ADHD can understand. If you have ADHD, when you finish a project, there is a vast amount of dopamine released. You have just this great feeling. Sometimes you're done, you'll never craft again, and other times you end up like me where you're crafting nonstop because of that dopamine feel. And here we got it, guys. 2 dungeon stackers down, and I'm going to show you this third one just so everybody knows exactly what they're doing. Because I don't want anyone to be like, well, I don't really know if he did it right. Because that's not what I'm doing here. I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to teach you, show you. I really want to see more work from other people. In fact, if you have your own YouTube channel and you were inspired by one of these videos so far, let me know. Tag me. I'm going to come watch it, and I'm going to comment in the video down below for you. On your video, that is. If you could comment down on my video below and tell me what you like, I'd appreciate it. You know. Trying to get the algorithm god slayed. So here we are. We're on our last piece. You see, again, I use my table when I do it. You don't have to. You can use whatever you need to make it look good. And here we have it, folks. 3 awesome dungeon stackers. And hopefully, with these 3 awesome guys, you learned something amazing. What, you thought I was done? Nah, I'm messing with you. We're not done. We got to make a wash, guys. So first thing you're going to do is get some water and some dish soap. Just a drop or 2, not much. Then grab some black paint. Now, normally, this is all you need for a good wash is just some soap, water, and a good amount of black paint added in there. But we're doing stonework, so we're going to add a couple little extra things. 1, pure silver. Why? Well, look at stone once. There's always this little kind of shine or shimmer in it in the wild, like there's some kind of ore inside of it, even if there's not. And then we're going to add some brown paint. I went for dark chocolate here, but you don't have to. This is going to help add a look of grime and natural dirt. Now, once you got this put in, make sure you got a good ratio here, right? Once you got that all in there, and as you can see my little swirl here, I'm going to take a stiff old paintbrush and I'm going to mix it together. This is what you're going to want to do. It doesn't have to be an old stiff brush. It can be a toothpick, whatever works that you can use to mix, even if it's your fingers. But you're going to want to mix everything together because you're making a wash. And this wash is what we're going to put over our dungeon stackers now that all the paint has sat there and dried and the glue is dried. What's this going to do? Of course, texture and depth. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. As you can see, here's one way. You can put it on, just nice and liberally coat that with a brush. Just get that wash all over it, baby. Don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about spilling it. Don't worry about it streaking. Don't worry. Just slosh it on there and get it going, and then leave it alone once you got it. Then the second one, which is, I got a big enough tub, and this is the other way you can do it, is if you got a big tub like this, dip it. There we go, like a potato chip into some French onion dip. Just dip it. Don't even worry about it. Look at that. Oh, man. And then you just set it to the side and dry. Yeah. Dip it again. Dip it in there like a hot tub. Yeah, you got it. Look at you going. Oh, that's awesome. Isn't it? All right. That is how you do a wash. Now, once you've got them there and you're getting them dried up, just let them dry. You might want to do a little dry brushing afterwards, but you're good. And there you have it. A simple, fun project that you can hit on any kind of time. And you can never have too many of these. I think I have at least a dozen of these I've made, not counting today's. So, like I said, I love them. I use them for all kinds of stuff, and you can use them for all kinds of stuff too. Don't feel like building walls? Set one of these guys right on the side, right next to one of your tiles. Boom, wall. You want a pyramid for your players to have to go up to fight a mummy lord? Boom, stack a couple of those guys together. You've got that pyramid, like I said. So you can just keep loving it and keep going. And like I said earlier, I said something about steps and it looked horrible, but look at that. See that? It's freaking awesome and so cool. So, I hope you guys enjoy this. I really hope you make these dungeon stackers. I absolutely love them. So, get to it, guys. Remember, it's always a great day for crafting. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you get out there and craft something awesome for your tabletop games. Seeing you guys later.